SAP put out its second quarter performance today. The company has seen its net profits rise by as much as 10% to 724 million euros. Revenues are up 4% to a little over 4 billion euros. But SAP has cut revenue guidance for its main business as a result of weakening demand in Asia, especially when it comes to China. The guidance comes, remember, after Accenture cut its revenue forecast and SAP's main competitor, Oracle, reported just a 1% increase in revenue for software licenses and cloud subscriptions. But we've got the management joining in exclusively here on the show. We've got SAP co-CEO Jim Hagemann Snabe. He joins in from Frankfurt. Jim, good evening to you. Many thanks for taking time out and speaking with us exclusively on ET Now. Given the global slowdown, how has the quarter panned out for you? What's your assessment?
Yeah, we just delivered another good quarter from SAP. It is now the 3 years in a row that we're delivering double-digit growth rates in our software business. This quarter, 10% in our software business. We also improved our operating income with 10%, so all in all, a very solid quarter. If you look into the details, you'll see that in particular, the transformation of the industry is one that we are leading. We are very, very high growth rates in the cloud, 171% globally. We see, of course, HANA, the next generation database technology, taking off very rapidly in terms of volume. And in many ways, we are leading the transformation of the industry, a change that we anticipated already 3 years ago. So a good quarter. Thank you.
Jim, what's your guidance for business going forward?
Yeah, so today we revisited our guidance. We reaffirmed our guidance on the operating income. We had a very ambitious plan for the year to achieve 5.85 to 5.95 billion euros in operating income, and we reconfirmed that today. We are seeing that the total revenue will be a little bit lower, so we are compensating for that, but we want to remain a double-digit growth company, committing to at least 10% growth in our software business.
Right. Talking of expansion plans, what kind of plans are we talking about for expansion or investments in India in particular, and what's your view on the current business environment in India?
Yeah, so as I said, Asia-Pacific, we saw some slowdown as a region, in particular in China and the countries that are closely related to the growth rates in China. This is in particular Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. We saw slowdown because of the short-term growth rate reduction in China. India is a big opportunity. It remains a very big opportunity for us. It's one of the markets where we have invested consistently over many years, and we continue to invest in the market because of the talent and because of the push to use technology to increase productivity. So in many, many ways, India will remain a key market for us. One of the largest labs we have in the world is in India.
Mm-hmm. What is it then that SAP is going to do to try and buffer itself, from the effects of the global slowdown?
Well, we're basically doing that with the innovation strategy that we decided back in 2010. We predicted a world where data would move off the slow disk and into main memory. We predicted a world where data centers would move off the on-premise, on-site data centers into the cloud. And we predicted a world where users would move out from the desktop and into mobile devices. And these three trends are now happening. And because we predicted that 3 years ago and invested in innovation in those areas, we are now leading that change. And that's why you see us growing. We're basically adding more value to our customers through innovation. And with that, we're becoming a more strategic vendor, a partner for them to improve their business in a tough environment.
Before we let you go, what's your outlook on the technology sector for the next 2 quarters?
Yeah, if you look at the total tech sector, I don't think there will be much growth as an industry, but I do believe there's a shift in the spend away from old disk-based hardware into innovative business software. And we're leading this trend, which means we do believe that we can deliver growth at SAP.
All right, Jim, really appreciate you joining us on the show tonight.